There's my target.
You will have to type something in the chat so I know you're there.
Alright, give me just a moment. Let me take out this, let me take out my target. You swear it? Damn, now what if you're wrong about that? Then what? Goodbye. Alright, I took my target out. Let me come to your stream. How do I go to your stream? You put it in the link? I mean in the description?
You have returned. Right your wrong. I clear up now! Watch out! Up and out! Go on, roll up the strong and back to us! Immortal, give us the power of the gods! What is one boy? What is one boy? Hurry!
It is deleting the limo.
Oh, you said it's deleting the link. What's the name of your channel? Or maybe I can just click on the other channel. Never mind, I'm coming to your channel now.
Get out of the way! Hey! Clear the way! Get out of my way!
Here, I'm here now.
Just go to the main page of ACO in YouTube Gaming and
Alright, hey, you can hear me, right?
Clear off now! What's wrong with you? Watch out! Coming through! Move! Now!
That's right, I need to make sure you can hear me first.
Precision getter.
Okay. The reason I had you come in here is because the weapon system is not explained right, and that's the fault of Ubisoft, not yours. So I'll give you a quick rundown on it so you know how to read the weapons. So I'm just going to give you generic information you can use in your game. I'm not going to give you any spoils or anything else like that. And then I'll just quickly go over the ability tree because that's another issue. So you can basically, the more information you have about this, the better off you're going to be when you play the game, no matter what difficulty level you play it on. Okay, so first things first, you have to understand that a damage ratio on a weapon is not always the best thing. You can have a lower damage ratio, but if you don't understand what the stuff on the sides of the weapon are, the special abilities. So for example, the daggers on this one, the adrenaline regeneration and the combo multiplier and the health on kill. If you don't know what those are, or don't know how to read them or understand what that means, that's not going to help you in the game. And Ubisoft doesn't actually tell you. There's a glossary in this game that explains those. But what it doesn't tell you is how to know what the hell you have. So, first things first, I'm going to ask you before I go on. Do you understand what any of the stuff I just explained is, or are you not even aware of it? Because my point is I don't want to go over explaining stuff to you if you already know it, and I don't want to talk down to you. I don't want to sound like an asshole, you know what I mean? So I'll just wait till you reply for that one first. Sort of, except it actually tells you what these things do. Alright, so for example, you'll notice that all weapons that are legendary or whatever it is have 2 different colored specializations on them. 2 are silver and 1 is gold. And there's a reason why I'm explaining it that way. All the silver ones have 4 bars next to them. You can see the bars on the right side of them. Hold on, Stacy, I'm explaining something. I'm not streaming this anymore. I'm just helping somebody out. All right, so there are 4 bars next to each silver item on every weapon, on all of them. Doesn't matter what it is. Those bars indicate the level of that special weapon. So in this case, Adrenaline Regeneration is at level 4, while the Combo Multiplier is only at level 1. But that's not going to help you if you don't know what that means. So on the gear screen, by the way, I play this on the PC with a controller, but I can equate that to the PS4. Okay, so down here, if you look, there's a button that says Legend. For this, it would be the L3 button. So what you do is you click it in and it brings up a glossary of stuff that it doesn't tell you is here. You kind of have to know enough to click that, but there's no way you'd notice that. And the reason I specified that it has silver and gold is because all the silver items or all the silver special abilities are on the top and all the gold items are on the bottom. Now, for example, on Adrenaline Regeneration, mine is level 4. Those daggers happen to be level 4. If you take a look, it tells you what each level does for each one. Now, I am going to point out that it's extremely important to understand that items are set in stone when it comes to what level the specials are. You can, like, I can upgrade this item all I want, and the combo multiplier will never go above level 1. In other words, you cannot upgrade the level of the special ability. They are what you pick them up as and what you see them are. That's it. So my point is, don't think you can go to an upgrade screen and upgrade that. The game doesn't tell you that. All the upgrading does is change the quality, and it changes the damage, and it changes the level. It doesn't touch anything on the special abilities. Alright, so for Adrenaline Regeneration, it increases 1 point every 4 seconds. So that's the speed ratio it does on that. Now, what about Combo Multiplier? It's at level 1. So if you take a look at Combo Multiplier, which would be in the grays up here, every hit, it does that much damage. So at level 1, every hit I do with this, it's doing 110% damage every hit I do. At level 2, it would be 115, and so forth down the line. So that's why it's important to understand how to read these. The game does not tell you this. The game does not also tell you that you can't upgrade the level of them. They're set in stone. They're all level 4, and I'm sorry, they can only have 4 levels, and the level is indicated by the white bar on the side. Simple as that. Now, what you're looking at for here, it's also important to know, because people get the idea that if you see a bow that says on fire, okay? By the way, charging speed is how fast you draw the bow back, just so you know that. Okay, so if you take a look at on fire, your arrows are on fire, but in reality, just because you hit an enemy with it does not mean the enemy will go on fire. So if you look on fire, it says attacks have a chance to set the enemy on fire. It won't automatically do it. So when you hit an enemy with it, just be aware of that, that's all. So this is in this glossary. You can just look over everything here. Now, why this is important is because it coincides with your skill tree, your abilities. I'm going to point something out about this that's very important to know, because what happens here is, I'm not going to say that I'm not going to tell you what to pick or anything else. But in an RPG, this is an RPG tree, meaning you have a hunter in this game. You have hunter, warrior, and seer. But what those are actually set up with is hunter is nothing more than ranged. Warrior is nothing more than melee, and Seer is nothing more than a magic tree. That's literally an RPG tree, and it doesn't explain that. But the reason why I bring that up is because most RPGs, when you go to get the abilities and the skills and everything else, there's a set path that you can only go. This game allows you to go both ways to get to certain things. So what you really have to do is you have to read these things and understand what they're doing. And this is why I'm not going to tell you how to do anything. I'm giving you the base way to read it so you can make your own decisions. Alright, so one of the prime examples is Adrenaline 1. there is an Adrenaline 2 in here, but you'll notice that I don't have Adrenaline 1. And the reason I don't have Adrenaline 1 is because, first of all, the tree allowed me to go to Adrenaline 2 by allowing me to skip 1, because the trees can go either way. But more importantly, the average person will say 1 comes before 2 in this regard, so, oh, first I got to get 1, then I got to get 2. That's why reading these things are important, because that's not true in this case. In this particular case, Adrenaline 1 starts you off every conflict with half of an Adrenaline bar. If you read Adrenaline 2, it starts you off with a full Adrenaline bar, which basically makes Adrenaline 1 useless. After you get if you happen to get Adrenaline 1, then go to Adrenaline 2, you're now starting every battle with a full Adrenaline bar. So what happens is, it makes this a wasted point. So instead of being able to use this for another point in, let's say, another area, you wouldn't be able to do that, and you basically wasted it. I'm not saying don't get it. I'm not saying that these skills are bad. I'm just saying be aware of how to read these, because the game can actually mess with you. Now, if you take a look, it's 1 point, but that's not the issue. These master trees, a lot of people, I've watched a lot of people ignore these trees. They put some points in them, but they don't realize what's going on. You can put multiple points in them, as you can see. I have mine up to 111, another one at 110. This gives you a 1% increase on everything you do for damage-wise with melee. Seer does the same thing, and then Hunter does the same thing. So what happens is, the more points you put in this, right now I have a base. Just off of this alone, I have an addition. My melee attacks are doing an additional 111% damage on top of what my weapons do and everything else. My ranged is doing the exact same thing. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. Now, another thing that you have to look at is why the ability trees would not just be good. Obviously, they're moves, but you have to understand, this game is actually put together. It's not thrown together. So basically, for example, taking a look at Breath Holding Champion, I'll give you an example of what I use this for. Yes, it's a passive, and like people will say, how do you use it? It's, if you look at these skills from a different angle. Okay, Breath Holding Champion obviously allows you to swim longer underwater because you can stay underwater. Basically what it does is it extends your breath bar. It's good for obviously staying underwater for getting to treasures, because there's some treasures that are so deep in this game you can't get it without a bar. You'll never make it. However, you can use it as an evasive tactic by staying underwater longer to get away from enemies. On top of that, it's a survivability issue, because if you get attacked by alligators or hippos in the water, every time you get hit, your breath bar goes down. So it's a survivability piece as well as an evasive maneuver, as well as allowing you to get things. So my point is, you have to kind of look at these skills and abilities in a different way than the average game. And so that's really all there is to it. I mean, now that you have that base information, you can understand how the game is put together. This game is not just thrown together. If you really look at it, it's actually pieced together very intricately. But with this information I just gave you is not explained anywhere. And I'm going to give you a couple base tips on combat in general, because the combat in this is fucked up. Heavy blunt weapons in this game are probably the most powerful weapon in the entire game, but they're very hard to learn. Because this game, when you're fighting in combat, you can't run in. You can, but to learn the weapons, you have to actually fight. Meaning you have to time your weapons, time your blocks, and things like that. And so, one of the things that the game doesn't tell you is how to not take damage when you're jumping off of things. Again, these are basic things that will help you in the game. So normally if you just jump off something, whoops, let me jump off of here. Normally if you just jump off a ledge, you'll notice that how much damage I just took. Now, you may or may not know this, but when you're using, since you're using the PlayStation 4 controller, by pressing X before you land on the ground, which is A for me, what happens is you'll roll, and if you notice, you don't take any damage. So, I mean, that's subjective. I mean, you're not going to be able to jump off of a mountain, you know what I mean, and live. But when you roll, the damage is subjective to how high you are. Another thing you can do, too, is if you're underwater and you need to get out of a tomb or you're running out of breath or whatever it is, open the map and any fast travel point you have unlocked is fast travel. You can fast travel without having to be at a fast travel point. One other thing that you can do too that the game doesn't tell you is that you can use Sinew to fast travel to a fast travel point you already have unlocked. So as you can see, I'm using Sinew and I can actually fast travel there while I'm in Sinew's Burn. So you can do some random things that this game really doesn't tell you how to do. And let me explain one or two more things to you, and then I'll let you go. And if you have any questions, you can type them into the chat. Just give me a minute. Okay. The game doesn't tell you how to throw things. And yes, you can throw things. You can throw anything you can pick up. Bodies, torches, anything. So, using this as an example, I'm going to pull a torch out. Normally you can drop it by pressing the R2 button. But to throw it, when you're holding something, you hold the L2 button, and then you press press R2. You can pull out multiple torches. Just so you know that. Another thing you can do that the game doesn't tell you is, let's say you had another arrow, another bow. Let me change my bow here. So I'm just going to put this generic one on. This doesn't actually have any fire to it. If you can hold your arrows over any fire source and you can light them on fire. So in this case, I'm just going to go here. Let me drop this. When you're doing it with a torch, it's different. So basically what you do is you pull out your bow. Oh, wait a minute. And you can light your arrows on fire like that. So they're just things that, these things are just generic fighting things. It's just generic information that it's really nice to know, because now you can play the game. I think you're going to start looking at the game a little differently now that it's explained to you. And so, what I was telling you about the difficulty levels, don't play on Nightmare unless you like a beating. But in reality, Nightmare is actually not that hard. What you're fighting against is how much damage the enemies do to you. Hold on one second. I fucking hate guards in this game. I like fucking despise them. In this move, I was going to tell you about pressing dodge. I was pressing dodge and using R2 with a regular weapon. Hold on a second. You see that move I just did? What that move does is it closes the gap between you and enemies. Like, so if you have an archer that can push you away, it literally allows you to close the gap between them, and it allows you to dodge behind the enemy. So it's... So what happens is it's crucial that you understand some of these basic mechanics, because it comes down to survivability in combat. What I just did was I threw a smoke bomb down. Smoke bombs will knock anybody off. They'll knock anybody senseless because they lose sight of you. And if you really get frustrated with the combat in this game, you want me to show you how easy the combat in this game is? The combat in this game is absolutely stupid. I don't want to wreck it for you, but I'm just going to show you the fastest way. Don't be afraid to walk up behind an enemy, and I'll show you why. I'm going to go into a fort right now, okay? Now, I'm doing this on Nightmare, okay? And the thing here is, even though I did a New Game Plus and had all this shit already done, I was doing this the first way through. So it doesn't really have anything to do with how powerful my character is. It has to do with the tactics I'm using. So let me find a fort and go in there, and I'm going to find a big fucker too. So I'm going to find a big fort. I'll just go in here. It's a two-pronged fort. Just so you know, the forts have different levels. 1 spear means there's usually 1 captain, 1 treasure. 2 spear icons, it's a little tougher. And then 3, it's a giant fucking fort. You'll find, like, guys all over the friggin' place. Okay, so, watch what this is how fucking retarded the AI is in this game. Don't be afraid to do not be afraid to run up behind somebody. It's the AI is so fucking stupid that it can't handle aggression. Even if you get seen, you'll most likely be able to assassinate them. You see what I'm saying? It's fucking stupid how dumb the AI is in this game. See what I just did? I didn't even stop. And it's absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous how stupid the AI is in this game. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm gonna fight something. Ready? I'm gonna use I don't think I can swap. I don't think I can swap a piece of gear. Oh yeah, well let me. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you the power of fucking blunt weapons. They're fucking broken. Okay, so in a combat system, okay, these are heavy blunt weapons. Shit, I gotta swap it out. Hold on. If you time a heavy blunt weapon right when an enemy attacks, it'll just knock them out. You can. They're so slow. People don't like them because they're slow. But if you fucking, they do so much damage. If you time it right, they can't get. You just break through anything. Oh fuck! I'm dead. Even when they're attacking, if you're in the middle of it. Oh, this asshole's going to frickin' light the... I know you fucking don't. Fuck you. You see how I'm frickin' knocking them... You see how see how their shield, their swords are ricocheting off my frickin' attack? This attack, for some fucked up reason... Whoops, I just died. The attack that you use when you push your weapon forward, it bounces them off and stuns them. And it's so overpowered, it's ridiculous. So, like I said, don't be afraid to run up behind an enemy. Don't be afraid to run up in front of them. You saw what happened. The enemy doesn't really have as much time to react. Unless the enemy is looking directly at you when you run at it, you have so much time to get in there.
I should not be in this area.
Good day.
Oops. When you get an enemy on the ground, don't let it up. If you can help it. Here we go, ready? Yeah, I fucking hate the guards in this game. You see that shit? It's fucking broken. Heavy weapons are so fucking broken in this game. Whoops. Oh, I just died. But it's, you get what I'm saying, right? So I just wanted to give you a quick demonstration on some of the shit you can do in this game, and it helps you out by knowing the layout and understanding how it coincides with each other and things like that. So now that you have that information, you can actually look at the game a little, because I know it's like when you first start the game is entirely overwhelming. So it helps to have it broken down, but even people that are playing this that long aren't familiar with some of the stuff in here because it's never mentioned to you. And one of the stupidest comments I've heard people say is, well, that information is on a loading screen. I turned around and I said to the person, what if the person never sees the loading screen? What if you get up from your computer or that loading screen? What if you never see that loading screen? Trying to say something is on a loading screen is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I just wanted to give you some basic information and things like that, and how to read the weapons so you can actually build your character and have a more enjoyable game experience. Alright? So I'm going to head off now. I'll probably, yeah. I won't be streaming a game till Monday, but, so I'm not telling anybody what game was like what. Sorry, I'm explaining something. I was in another. Went during my stream. Like, you can go look at my channel and you can see my entire playthrough. Dude, I died like so many times at bosses. It's ridiculous. But Stacy, I'm not letting anybody know who voted for what. And the reason why is because if people want to find out what game wound up running, what game got picked the most for me to stream on Monday, they just have to come to the stream and find out. So it's just the way it is. So yeah, I wanted to help out 100% because it really pains me that these motherfuckers. I hate these fucking guards. Like, seriously, guards annoy the fuck out of me in this game more than anything I've ever fucking played. I hate the fucking enemies in this game. I fucking hate them. Come here, fucking ass. Fuck you. So anyway, I hope I was able to help you. Come here, ass. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I'll be streaming that Monday, so it's there. But yeah, it fucking pains me to watch people play this. You know, and it's not their fault they don't know this. It's Ubisoft. Yeah, dude, in some of my streams, I'm yelling at the game. And I'm not yelling, I'm legitimately yelling at the fucking game. It's not one of those things I'm doing to get views. I'm fucking heated at the game. Because, alright, I was in a, I think I'm actually going to post this on the forum because there's some fucking wrong with this game. There's a main quest I was doing in the last stream I was in. The very last part of the stream I was in. I literally had to put the frickin' enemy on, I had to set the game on easy to beat the fucker. Not that I couldn't kill him, but what was happening is, he wasn't staying on the screen. And I was like, what the fuck? Because this boss was set so I don't want to spoil it for you, but basically what happens is, the way this particular boss was set up is that if you were out of range of it and it didn't have anybody to kill, it would return to where it came from. But the quest I was doing was a main quest where I had to kill him. So I was getting him down to like a quarter of his health left, or I almost killed him. And I got out of range and he fucking disappeared. I was like, you motherfucker. So Ubisoft fucked up the programming on that by allowing a boss that you have to kill to keep disappearing. It's one thing if the boss kills you, but what was going on was the boss was going off. He was disappearing. Like there was no way to kill it. If that kept happening, you would never be able to finish the mission. You just wouldn't be able to do it. So it was like, I'm like, what the fuck? I finally, just to kill the bastard, had to put it on easy. And I fucking hated doing that because I'm playing the thing on Nightmare and I wanted to kill it on Nightmare. But at the same time, I wasn't about to keep getting cheesed out of the fucking kill. I was like, that's ridiculous. So I did it just to fucking, it's annoying. But I am going to tell you to make the game easier for anybody that's watching this. There are things that are absolutely useless to play on anything except for easy in this game. Community challenge. The following things, put them on easy because there's no reason to play them on anything else but easy. So whether you're playing on Nightmare, Hard, or Normal, doesn't matter. It's not even relevant. Elephants, the sea battles. There's a fist fight in this game in the desert. I just did it on Nightmare anyway because I like the challenge. But let me see. The elephants, the sea battles, the community challenges, elephant sea battle community challenges. Oh, what the fuck was it? There was another thing I had here. So the elephants, the sea battles, the community challenges, and oh, what the fuck was it? Yeah, because I can't remember what the other ones were, but it literally doesn't do anything for the game except make it take longer. So elephants will always give you an ability point once you finish them, so it doesn't matter what difficulty level you're on. So why the fuck would you want to play it on harder difficulty level when there's no reason to? So during my streams, even though I had it set to Nightmare, I made it abundantly clear that there are just things that you just don't. Oh yeah, the arena horde mode. Do that on easy. The elephants do that on easy. The sea battles sea battles, do that on easy. The community challenges, do those on easy. And then there's a fist fight in the game in the desert that there's really no reason. What the fuck are these guys attacking me for? Are you serious? These guys just fucking came out of nowhere. What the fuck is that about? He literally just ran up the fucking road and killed me. Or he's trying to kill me. What the fuck? What the fuck? This is why I can't stand these fucking guards. So anyway, what I was saying is, the following things do on easy. Sea battles, community challenges, arena horde mode. The reason why arena horde mode you do it on easy is because you're supposed to get as many waves as you possibly can done. So what the fuck would you put it on nightmare for if you're just that's just cutting your, you know, that's cutting the what you do short. Where the fuck did these guys come from? Why are motherfucker? I don't fucking understand this. Where the fuck these guys came from? I'm sitting there, like, why are they attacking me? I'm like minding my business. I've been standing there for fucking 10 minutes. They're attacking me all of a sudden for no reason. What the fuck? Okay, so hold on a second. Let me get this straight. I'm sitting there minding my business. They attack me. Now the brasier's lit for reinforcements when I go and kill them? You know what that fucking reminds me of? Is somebody who picks a fight with you. You get the better of them, and then they have to involve their family because they can't win. That's exactly what that reminds me of. Anyway, I'm going to shut the stream down. I really need to go to bed. I got to get up. So, guys, take care. I'm going to be streaming a game that my viewers picked for me Monday, and I'll start that stream probably about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, most likely 11. So, take care, guys. I will see you guys later. Thanks for any views. Thanks for voting. Thanks for listening. Take care, guys.